Hello, boys and girls. This is Aunt Fernita, and I have a wonderful story for you called Jesus Reads in Church. Today's memory verse is from Psalm 122, verse 1. It says, "Let us go to the house of the Lord." The message for today's story is we worship God in Sabbath school and church. What's your favorite thing about Sabbath school and church? Do you like the songs? The stories? Do you like to be with your friends? Jesus liked to go to church on Sabbath too. All week long, Jesus worked in the carpenter shop. He was very busy. But when Sabbath came, Jesus did not work. After work on Friday, he put everything away, so the shop was nice and neat. Jesus went to church with his family and his friends on Sabbath. At church, people listened to stories read from the Bible scrolls. They would talk about the stories too. They would even pray together. Jesus loved to go to his church in Nazareth. When Jesus grew up, he left Nazareth. It was time for him to help people in other towns. Wherever he went, he would go to church and teach the people more about God's love. After Jesus had been away for a while, he went back to visit his family and friends in Nazareth. It was so good to see everyone. The people of Nazareth heard stories about Jesus. They knew that he had made some people well, and they knew that Jesus had helped many others. Soon it was Sabbath. Jesus was happy to worship God in Nazareth again. The people were so happy to see Jesus come back that they asked him to read from the Bible scroll. Jesus was more than happy to read from the scroll. He liked to help out in church. A helper in the church picked out a Bible scroll for Jesus to read. It was from the part of the Bible called Isaiah. Jesus took the Bible scroll in his hands and began to read. His voice was strong and clear. When Jesus stopped reading, he sat down and talked about the words he had just read. We like to go to church on Sabbath. We like to worship God with our family and our friends too. We sing songs to tell God, "I love you." We read from his Bible book and talk about the stories. And we pray too. We like to worship God just as Jesus did. Sabbath is a really happy day. When you go to Sabbath school and church on Sabbath, you are telling Jesus that you love him.
This podcast was brought to you by Gracelink.net and Studio El Piso in Singapore. For more children's resources, please visit Gracelink.net.